Beloved brothers, respected elders, look at Sahaba, how they took Allah's deen to the world. What about you and I? This has to be our ambition. And we have to change our lives. Our brothers in Palestine are dying every day. Children, mothers, daughters, infants are dying. More than 10,000 have died up to today in this month. Imagine. And continuously the Zionists are shelling them and bombing them. And definitely Allah Ta'ala is helping them. Imagine a message that came in and they're saying that we don't have no electricity and they're cutting off all communication. So some of the messages that come through, they're saying on everybody's lips is 3 statements. Number 1 is Alhamdulillah. Allah, we praise you, we thank you, you know best. We thank you for whatever we are going through. We thank you for it. So they're giving this message to the non-Muslim world, for everyone to know what Alhamdulillah means. And so important they're saying this, because otherwise, the media will say Alhamdulillah means, how they, some of the churches, they portray, when the Muslims say Allahu Akbar on the speakers, they're mesmerizing the people. This is what, we've met Christians who actually believe this. They say, no, you all are trying to put, muti on us. No. So good, our brothers from inside are explaining, Alhamdulillah, Allah, we thank you, no matter what is happening. There's no food, there's no electricity, there's not a drop of water for children to eat. 10,000 people have been killed, 25,000 people, more than that, are injured. It's a massacre, it's a genocide. As I was telling you yesterday, read this history, what has happened to our brothers. Open that 2nd volume of the Tariq book. Read through how the Jews came in, how the Muslims treated them, and how then they overtook the country and they occupied oppressively, unjustly, the land of Muslim people. They just came in shooting at Muslims from 1918 onward, especially after their Holocaust, when they were ill-treated badly by the world, except the Muslims. The only people good to the Jews were the Muslims throughout history. Now you have to know this, to give the correct narrative to people out there. Up till now, there's priests sending us messages to say, no, they're doing this only because of a group that's defending. They're doing this only. All that is lies. So I'm telling them that how unwise of you that after everything is so clear, history is so clear, you still have the audacity to make such statements that they have no right to defend themselves. They only want to bring in, what happened on the October 7th. What happened 75 years prior to that, nobody wants to talk about. And still Allah Ta'ala is bringing His people. Allah, like this, there's a hadith in Sahih Muslim where Banu Ishaq will say, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, and the palaces of the enemy will cave in and they will give in to the Muslims, which shows Allah Ta'ala will bring His people to talk the truth. But what I was telling you is, this is what they did. They shot Muslims left, right and center. And whoever was left, they wanted them to get kicked out of their towns. And then they had Jews come in the thousands and the hundreds of the thousands, and they stayed in the houses of the Arabs. Then the saddest reality is then the UN in 1947 got involved because England now seized the opportunity to denounce Palestine and said, no, we don't want it anymore. And let the UN solve it. And the UN gave the Israelis 56% of the best of the 56% of Palestine. They took it from Muslims and they gave the better half, the more fertile and the more upcoming, the more advanced cities. They gave those cities to the Zionists, to the Jews. And they gave lands, the lesser in value lands, to the Muslims. And even those lands that had Christians and Jews, 50% residents already there. And then the Jews who took that 56%, the best lands, were kicking out Muslims who were living there. Come in, just shoot them left, right and center. The others are just running for their lives. They were not armed people. They were peace-loving people. Study the history, it's available. And it's so sad. And what's happening now? That's why every one of us have to change our lives. We have to wake up for tahajjud. We have to make dua. We have to leave sin. We have to leave pornography. We have to leave guna. We have to leave wasting our time. We have to spend extra time in dua, in tawajjuh, in crying to Allah to help them. And any item manufactured by the Jews and the Zionists, we must not touch it, not even put it in our mouths. not even put it in our mouths, and discourage other Muslims from doing that, to play our part to make a difference. And definitely all our sacrifices together has an impact. We can't just carry on talking the way we like, wasting our time, being ungrateful. We have to make a difference in our life that we can change. And remember, the believers are one body. Never say, oh, this is happening to them because these are righteous people there. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, those are the Abdalis from there. Those are the best of people. Our actions are incorrect. And the believers are one body. Keep that in mind. If one finger is in pain, what happens to the body? If one toe is in pain, what happens to the body? What's happening there has to affect our lives. We can't think that everything is normal and everything is fine. Never, not possible. This has to take our sleep away. This has to take our peace away. It has to take our laughter away. Allah help us. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina.